Well, hey, good afternoon. Happy Thursday, everybody. If you're watching this portion of the video, you're probably catching me on the replay, and I thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind, just put down in your comments for me, hashtag replay, so I know you were here. I do my very best to go back and answer questions, and thank you for joining. But if that red light button is visible, I'm looking for my first 3 watchers today. My first one is Lynn Dickinson. Hello and welcome in, my darling. You're going in the drawing for our happiness. There is Kath, you are number 2. And one more, there is Kim. Nice to see you, sweet ladies, come on in. So I have my first 3 watchers. Kim, hi sweet Donna Sue, how are you? Hey my beautiful Carly, how is everybody today? Let's see here, Kim. All right, so for those of you who aren't sure what I'm doing, every live, until we give away this happy bag of goodies, I just write down the first 3 names that I see. Hi, Pamela, darling. How's my Donna Sue today? I haven't forgot about you, Donna Sue, my darling. I just got home. Hi, Diane. Hey, Alexandria. Hi, Carrie. Hey, sweet Beverly. How is my sweet Alexandria today? Hi, beautiful Cheryl. So sorry, Carrie, my darling. All right, let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think I got it. How is Beverly today? And I think I'll go back and also pull again one more time. Hi, Sybil. Thank you, Denise, for from replays, just to keep it fair. Hey, Lori. Well, thank you, sweet Carly. I don't feel that way, but I appreciate it. You tried to be the first 3. I know, that's so hard. Hey, sweet Spirit Rider. I don't know if you were on the other day, my darling. I pulled your name from a replay to go in, hey, Mary Grace, in the drawing for this amazing bag chucked full of goodies that we've been pulling the first 3 names of lives for a couple weeks now and adding all kinds of little happy things in here. Hi, Catherine. How are you, Mary Grace? Yes, sweet Kath, you are in there, darling. Spirit Rider, you went in off of a replay, so thank you guys so very much. Hey, Kim, nice to see you. It's getting pretty full, so I think we have to do that drawing pretty soon, right? Now, as long as my comments stay working, we'll draw for the happy mail that we couldn't do the other day when they quit on me, which was so annoying. Hey, Jennifer. So I'm going to draw through the comments at the end of this live today. Hey, sweet Trina, how are you, my love? So good to see you. And we're going to give this away. I will send that to you for a little happy mail. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate it so much. So today what we're going to put inside this little bag, hi, sweet Della, is this little snip art here. How is that, sweet baby? And your daughter, sweet Trina. I hope everybody is doing well, and you and Mary also. So these are really kind of fun. You can use these in crafting. You could, thank you, Trina Hun, for shedding the fur. I appreciate it. Hi, Tina. Nice to see you. You could use these in so many different ways. They're kind of scored where you need to punch them out. And I thought they would be kind of cute and fun just to put in here as well. Hey, Colleen, nice to see you. Super happy to have you on. Thank you for joining. So this bag is chocked full of goodies, I like to say. And we will be drawing for a winner on that in the very near future. Hi, Susan. Nice to have you. So I just got back from, hi, Catherine, running my head off like crazy today. You're trying to get your name in, sweet Pamela. Hi, Juanita. We'll have a few more times for sure. Let's see here. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. Hi, Cindy. Nice to see you, dear. It is still pretty chilly here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, but the sun is out, and that does help quite a bit. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Hi, Teresa. Welcome in anybody who is new. Let us know that you're new so we can give you a warm welcome. Hey, Jackie. Hi, Melissa. Nice to see you guys. Thank you so much, Kim, for that sprinkle. So I think what we'll do is we're going to draw for 2 happy mails at the end of the live today. I just kind of scroll through those comments because we had just hit 50 sprinkles on the live from Tuesday when I last looked, and that is the goal, 50 or more. So let's do 2. Hi, Eileen. Nice to see you. I'll have to come up with something to send out for the second one. So I'm going to make a note. Happy mail. I should just keep it here and stick it to my forehead, right, guys? So I'll do my best to try to remember. How are you, Eileen? So good to have all of you. All right, guys, I'm drinking water today. Thank you, Beverly, darling. I am trying so hard to be better about my water intake. So we'll see how long it lasts. Hi, sweet Bobby Mihal. Nice to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. So all the auction items are going out. When I went to the post office today, hi, Bonnie. their little sign was up that they were on lunch from 11 to 11:30 or something like that. And then when I was stopping someplace else, I'm not even sure where I was anymore. Oh, Donna Sue, I'm so sorry, hon. I hope you feel better soon. My mom has that horrible cough as well. Then I heard something about post offices being closed today because of the funeral for Jimmy Carter, right? Getting ready for snow here. Oh my gosh, stay nice and toasty warm, Teresa. I know a lot of people are. I don't think we're going to get much, at least from what I saw yesterday when I looked. But the thing of it is that the post office door was open and they just had their sign out there for lunch. Hi, my sweet Rach. How are you, darling? So other times that I've gone there, I go there all the time to drop off auction items. She has always told me, just leave them right by the door inside and we'll take care of them. So that's what I did. Hi, Yasmin. Nice to see you, hon. Yeah, because of the funeral. So it's got me a little bit panicked in my heart, actually. Snowing there in Alabama tomorrow, Beverly. Yuck. Hi, Shannon, hon. I hope they keep on working too. Hi, Kelvy. Good to see you. So, and I have done that a couple times before at my little tiny little post office that's just a couple minutes up the road from me. Good afternoon, sweet Della. 7 inches and not used to it. Yes, my sweet Shauna, who is in Tennessee, told me that too. She thinks they already closed some schools tomorrow. Hey, Branya, nice to see you, hon. I'm so glad, sweet Trina. And how are you doing? Icy slush. Ugh, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Della, for that sprinkle. I appreciate those oh so very much. So I have probably 1 or 2 more things that are going to be going out tomorrow. So I'm going to stop back there and just make sure everything was okay. We miss you. Oh my God, girl. I miss you too so very much. Sounds good. Sweet Carly, it's so good to see you, hon. Have a good afternoon and thank you for popping on. Nice to see you, Albina. If I heard of comments for you, as you comment on your own live, the comments will come back. Oh, really, Jennifer? Good to know, hon. Hey, Barb, nice to see you. I thought about that too, Kath. I just got home and they normally close at 3:45. Hi, my sweet Giselle. How are you, sailing lady? Nice to see you. They have closed schools. I even got an email from saying there may be issues, right? I can believe it. 3 inches, Georgiana. Hello, hon. Hi, Dana. We are right in the line for, yes. Oh, everybody, I hope you can stay safe and warm. Hey, Kathy, if you have to go out and about, please be careful. How are you, my sweet Giselle? Are you soaking up some sunshine for us? So, hi, my beautiful Shelly. Nice to see you. Holy cow, it's been a while. Cold in Ohio. That's how it is here, too. And there's no snow on the ground. It's just grass that we're seeing. Hi, Rosie. Hey, Stephanie. Only 15. It was about 11 when I left this morning. Thank you, Shelly. So I'm going to call there first thing tomorrow morning. And if I don't get an answer or, a message, hi, Christina, I have 2 more things to pack up and I'm going to take them there as well, one way or the other, and just make sure everything was okay. Hi, Ruth. I have left things there before with no issue. They're a very, very, very small post office and they are always wonderful. And she said, if you ever see that sign up, just leave it right outside the door. All will be good. So I've done that. But today I was like, I don't like that. Thank you, Eileen. Had a beautiful day on the beach. Oh, I'm so happy. I am so happy to see you on, hon, and to hear that you're okay. All right. So before we get started, just a couple things because we already do our chatting. If you're a little bit new to the page, I like to chat a little bit, say hello to everyone I can. Hey, Judy. We are doing okay, sweet Trina. Thank you so much for asking, hun. Dry roads, but ice. Ugh, yuck. Hi, Lisa. So I did a little bit of running today. I had to stop at the Hobby Lobby. I like to call it Hobster Lobster. Thank you, Alexandria, hun. And when I was talking about those little wooden pieces that you can do with bleach on your t-shirts, I picked these up today. They were in the Valentine's Crafts 40% off. So these are $2.49 and then 40% off. Hi, Connie, hun. So you can place these all over a fun t-shirt, whatever color that you want. If you do a pink or like a, a rosy pink or a red, I think that would be so pretty. Let's see. We just got back on. All aboard. Oh, Giselle, I'm so glad. How are you, Connie? It has been in the mid-20s to low 30s here. Yes, Trina, for sure for you. Hi, Marisa. So these are what I was talking about. I know a lot of times you can find these at the dollar store too, but I thought this was a pretty good deal because there are 54 of them in here. And how fun and cute to either use with your bleach when you spray your shirt, or you can kind of deck these out a little bit and include them in some of your Valentine's crafts. I thought that would be fun, so I wanted to show you. And then, guys, I have a couple shirts that are still available. So if you have any interest at all after I show you and tell you the sizes, just put sold and the size in the comments. Hi, Naomi, and I will get it out to you, okay? So the shirts are, goodness gracious, 30. And then the only one that is a little bit more is the 2X. That one will be 32. So I have a medium in this rosy, beautiful pink. Nice little V-neck. This is a medium. It's the Bella and Canvas brand. They are considered a relaxed fit. Hi, Marisa. Nice to have you. Hey, Nancy. So that is a size medium. I love these. They are very, very soft. They wash super well. I just turn them inside out. I put them in a laundry bag in my regular wash cycle, and then I just hang them to dry. So that's a size medium. If you're interested, that one is 30. Then I have an extra large. This is kind of a real pretty blue. Same thing, same V-neck, Bella Canvas. Thank you, Kim Hun. Hey, Glenda. Hi, Cheryl. This is, what did I say? An extra large relaxed fit. And then I have a 2X in gray. Relaxed fit, V-neck, Bella Canvas, all super buttery and soft. If you are interested, you just let me know. Hi, sweet Victoria. Old to Ooh La La Art is in the house. So nice to have you. I'm happy to see you on. For Halloween, I have two, and they turn out so cool, right? Especially on black. Hi, Paula. Thank you, Cheryl, for the sprinkle. Hello, Cindy. So good to see all of you. Okay. And if you decide after the fact that you're interested in a shirt, just send me a message and I can certainly help you. If you're on the replay, send me a message and I can help you. A medium, an extra large, and a 2X. The rose, the kind of like that pretty blue, and then a charcoaly gray, we'll say. Just want to let you know those are available. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about FormFlex again. Hi, Brenda. I'm sure many of you are probably sick of it. I'm so sorry. But to any of you that are new, I'm just going to kind of go over some of the things that work for me. Hey, Stacy Hun, and tell you about what I do that I like about it. So those are shirts that I had left over from the last batch. I have not gotten to any long sleeve yet. Hello from Massachusetts, Stacy. So good to see you, hon. How are you? Yep, so those are left over from the last batch, actually. So I did a whole bunch of FormFlex molds. If you guys aren't familiar with FormFlex, it is this amazing molding compound, we'll call it, right? But it stays flexible. Oh my goodness, a little dry spot here, hold on. And what I do is I do keep my packages in the fridge out in our garage. I am sure hoping that those comments keep on coming through. They stopped for me on Tuesday, and that was so annoying. And, gosh, I don't even, there we go. Okay, good. I see a comment. Where are you located? Okay, so this is what it looks like out of the package. Now, this one's been sitting on my craft desk here for a little bit, but I do find putting it in the refrigerator does really help when I'm filling my molds. To decorate a small bottle, Beverly, that's so fun. So that bottle that I showed you guys on Tuesday that I got from Elaine and Happy Mail, I may do some molds on it and then maybe like a fine line crackle and just leave that color that's on there because I think it is so pretty. So FormFlex, you do not have to work this before you start using it. As soon as you take it out of the package, you don't, you know, you can use it right away in your molds. I'll put you down just a hair. Hi, sweet Stephanie, darling. So I actually kind of used bits and pieces of this mold. Nice to see you, Stephanie. Thank you for joining. How are you? And I kind of wanted to challenge you to do the same. We are going to be working on a project in the next couple of days or so. Hey, Jill Hun, where everything that we are going to be putting on it for molds, just like today, is going to be FormFlex, but I only used a portion of some of my molds, and that's what I did on this one. So I did several of this one and the bottom one. I think I did 4 total. And then on the middle piece here, I did just the, I left the middle out and just did the sides, and then I did 2 separate pieces of the middle, and I'll show ya. Hey, Jill, nice to see you. Hi, Mary. So this particular mold is a Prima redesign Thornton medallion. And I love these. I have several of these. I would say they're probably a close second before, or I should say after my IOD molds, because those are my favorite. But these are very lovely as well, and they work fantastic with my Formflex. Hi, Helen. So good to see you. Maybe next time you place an order, I'll get one. The medium would be too small. Okay, sweet Trina, darling, I'll keep you in mind. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Cindy from Antigua, Wisconsin. Anago, my apologies, I know that. I am in Wisconsin as well, in Sheboygan. Anago, Antigua, my goodness gracious. Hey, sweet Tina. Hi, Shelly Stacklin. How are you? Hey, Lynette, nice to see you, hon. Super happy to have you, Cindy. So what I do with this is a little bit different than what I do with my, say, normal clay. It's good to see you, Jill. Thank you so much for being here. So definitely okay to keep this in the fridge, opened or unopened. Thank you, Lynette. Hey, Sharon. And then when I fill my molds, I really try to start off with like a little rope, little snake guy. Hi, Martha. Nice to see you. I only use cornstarch in my molds when I am doing Formflex. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Giselle. Thank you, Trina, hun. So I just keep it in this little container. You keep it in whatever you want. And I use like a little cheap makeup brush to kind of dust lightly into my mold. Hi, sweet Trish, sister. I'm having trouble today. So definitely only cornstarch in your mold for Formflex. That's what works for me. And I know that's what Tammy does, who came up with the Formflex. But want to reverse decoupage, so I ordered a small amount of Let's Resin, as mine is not clear enough. Yes, Diane, I completely understand that. A small amount of Let's Resin. I do use that one, and there's another one on Amazon that I use. Hi, Yvonne, nice to see you. I will let you know a little trick. So, hey, Michelle, darling, how are you feeling? Hey, Deanna, thank you for joining me. If you get a little spray bottle, mine is upstairs actually, as long as you're using alcohol, that is 91% isopropyl alcohol. This is from Walmart, but you can find it at the Dollar Tree as well. Hey, sweet Beverly. Oh, that's so happy, Cindy. How fun. I'm so happy to have you. So put it in just a tiny little spray bottle. And I believe on the Let's Resin, make sure that you read the instructions. Each one is a little bit different, each brand of resin. And I think I read it after the fact that once you mix that, your part A and part B, that you're to leave it sit for 5 minutes before you do your pour. I find that helps quite a bit. And then after you pour, hi Sharon, I would give it a good 5 minutes. Come back with that little spray bottle, like a light little misty one. I just have a small one that came from like an old glass solution spray. And from a distance, just give it a little spray lightly with that alcohol. It must be at least 91%. I learned that from Teresa Renee, actually. Hi, TT Hun. And that will really, really help with your bubbles as well. So I probably do that for the first, like after 5 minutes, I'll do it every 5 minutes for maybe 15 minutes. And that helps tremendously. Let's see, relatively first time life. Hi, Sharon Hun. Nice to have you. And that works really great. And the Let's Resin at letsresin.com is supposed to be fantastic for less bubbles. So you will see a lot of them coming to the surface on their own. And then if it isn't quite clear enough for you, put a clear coat of varnish on the front and the back. So you can use, I use the clear varnish from Pentart. Let me see where I have it. It's actually across the way because I was taking a picture today. Thank you guys so much for the sprinkles. I appreciate that greatly. And if you don't mind just popping a couple of those hearts, I would greatly appreciate that as well. Kind of keeps the algorithm going. Yeah, Diane, absolutely. So the clear resin from Pentart, that's kind of the really stinky one. Hi, sweet Deborah Cross. Nice to see you. I really like that one though, so I put up with the stink. It's not bad for too long, but I like to put that out there in case you're sensitive to it. and or you could use DuraClear or triple thick or a combination. So 3 parts triple thick to 2 parts DuraClear. Thank you guys so much for those hearts. And do a coat on the front and the back, let it dry really well, and that will help quite a bit with your cloudiness. Hey, sweet Mandy, nice to see you. So yeah, when I'm filling my mold, I roll it into a little snake like this, and the varnish makes it clearer. It sure does, Diane, yes. And that was a happy trick that I learned from Robin's song. So how cool is that? And so I also try not to overfill my molds when I'm doing these. When I do clay, I can overfill, and I know I can, you know, take my little palette tool and slice off that excess, no problem. It's a little bit different with your Formflex because this is so soft that it might pull on you a little bit, tend to kind of pull up out of your mold a little. So just take your time. I won't do it because I don't need any more of these currently. Oh, good, Beverly. I'm so glad. Thank you, Trish, darling. And so then when you do get it all in there, when you order Formflex, you get this like little credit card feeling doohickey with it. I actually put cornstarch on this as well, because if this gets sticky or you start getting some Formflex that sticks onto this, it's also going to want to pull up your Formflex out of your mold. So I use my little palette tool, just get off any excess that might start sticking to it if you're making a ton of these, which oftentimes is what I do. Hi, Susie, hon, nice to see you. Is I will do a whole bunch and then I just store them in between pieces of parchment paper in a container that has a lid on it. So every once in a while, I give this a little cleaning, okay? Same thing with your little palette tool. As you can see, mine is kind of nasty. So I would take another one and I would just get that excess off of there. Hey, Stephanie. All of those things will kind of tend to pull up or not give you a nice clean edge when you're trying to get the excess off, if that makes any sense. And then recently, because I've been wearing gloves a lot when I'm crafting, because my hands are splitting open already. Red Brick Home Crafts, how are you, hon? It is so good to see you, on. I've been putting gloves on when I use my Formflex. I have pretty like clammy, sometimes sweaty fingers. Hey, Shannon, nice to see you. And that sometimes can make it worse. It'll want to stick to my fingers more, but you can also cornstarch your fingers a little bit every here and there. Hi, Donna Jean. So those are a couple tips from me. Then definitely put them in the freezer. If you try to unmold your casting without freezing, it is going to be a mess more often than not. Once in a while, if I have a mold that is, you know, like the very straight trim pieces, those might come out on their own okay. But I would say 95% of the time, I freeze them for a minimum of 20 minutes. And then if you have a mold that is very intricate, has a lot of detail in there, I would freeze for longer. You can't over freeze them. Hey, I'm Snow Crafty. How are you, Christine? Nice to see you, hon. I've left some in there and forgot about them overnight and didn't get to them until, you know, late the next day, and they are perfectly fine. Hi, Anne. Nice to see you. So I actually think I might have some in the freezer right now. And when you're taking them out then, you want to get at them and release them out of your mold right away. And the best thing to do is just start kind of pulling on your mold. You are not going to hurt your silicone molds, your good quality ones, and even the ones I get from Temu and Amazon, I have had no issues with in doing this. So you're kind of releasing the frozen Formflex, and that's going to help start releasing it from all those little areas, okay? Now this one, for example, see that little piece right there? And then there's more of those right here. Those are called relief areas, and those should be clear of your Formflex. Same thing here. That is going to allow the casting to come out easier than it would if you covered those areas. So I usually try to take a look beforehand. Hi, Julie. And make sure I see where they are. And then as I'm filling my mold, if I accidentally go over them, when I'm kind of clearing off my excess with my little palette tool. Hi, Jill, nice to see you. I make sure I do not have any Formflex on those relief areas. This one has quite a few. You can see there's like 4 of them right in this big one. And like I said, if you cover those, you might have a little bit of a struggle getting it out, and or it might break on you right there. So that's a fun little tip, right? And then what I do when I take them out of here, how are you, Jill? Nice to have you. Hi, Janice. Nice to have you. I put them on a piece of parchment paper to dry, and I leave them a good 24 hours minimum. That's just me. I know there's some people that put them on right away. Well, Mary Jo, hello, and how are you, sweet lady? So nice to see you, hon. How have you been? Happy Thursday to you as well, Julie. Hi, Cassandra. Now, if if these start getting a little bit nasty on you, I like to call them, you can wash your silicone molds. I just use a little Dawn dish soap, a little hot water, and a soft brush, and they come out beautifully. And then I just leave them like this to dry. What else was I gonna say? If you have one that breaks on you or it comes out nasty, and you're just not happy with it, hi, Trisha. The great thing is even when you take it out of the freezer, just let it warm up in your hands a little bit, a couple minutes, and the warmth from your hands will get it nice and pliable and soft again. Put it back in your bag and you can use it again so you don't have any waste and feel bad about throwing it out. All right. You can also do 3D molds. So I get those quite often from Temu or Amazon. Do you guys remember seeing the little angel cherubs I did? Hey, Sandra, nice to see you, dear. They are so much fun to do. So by 3D molds, I mean like they're pretty deep. In fact, I have one here that I just tried doing this week, actually. I found it when I was doing a little cleaning in my craft room. So this is what I would say a 3D mold is. It's very deep. You can see how thick it is. It's a little hummingbird, some little leaves, some flowers. Hey, Tammy. Now on the little areas that are like super, super fine, this looks like it's supposed to be one whole mold. A little lotion on your hands helps you. Really, Beverly? See, it makes it worse for me. I think it mixes with my sweaty hands, which right now they're dry, and it sticks to me a little bit more. But if you don't have clammy hands like Miss Keli-Kat, then maybe a little lotion would be a good thing to try. So if I see that it is like super, super thin in there, and maybe I'm not going to get one whole piece, don't stress about it. You can kind of pull apart the mold a little bit so that you can get your Formflex down in there. And then you'll use that little credit card guy, wherever I put it. Is it lying? There we go, lying right in front of me. Hey, Tammy. Once you get your Formflex in there and just give it a nice push down in so it picks up all the detail inside of here. And look at how stinking cute this little hummingbird turned out. So it's a nice thick one, a little bit more 3D. And what I like to say is nobody knows what your mold looks like. So they aren't gonna say, I can't believe you separated your pieces and you didn't get one whole hunk out of it, right? It's totally fine. And then the little flowers came out separately, and I can still piece that together with my little hummy to make it look like the beak is coming, right to the flower, and nobody's gonna know. Hi, Irene. So don't stress about that if it happens to you. You can also make yourself a topper out of one of them. So we've done one of these before. This is a 3D rose mold that I believe came from Temu. Thank you, Kim. Isn't that fun? Thanks, Diane. And this is just a cake pop stick that I happen to have in my stash. So I filled it with my Formflex, and while it was soft, I just gently put in my little stick here. You can use a little skewer, a little wooden stick. I have some like this that I've done with them before, and then freeze it just like that. And when it comes out and you release it and it dries really nicely, you have this beautiful little topper. How fun is that? Hi, Norma. Nice to see you. I think it would be so cute to do some of these, to maybe do some Formflex leaves on the stick itself and make like a little bouquet. How fun would that be? I think it is so stinking cute. And look at that detail. Formflex picks up all that beautiful detail in your molds, even the less expensive one. Hey, Mary Lou, nice to have you here. Thank you for joining me. I'm having trouble talking today, guys. Now with this one in the bottle that we're gonna do, I'm gonna try a way to kind of raise this up just a bit because I think it sits just a little bit too flat. Hi, Elizabeth. And if you have larger pieces like that fleur-de-lis bottle we did not that long ago, those were larger molds. Hi, Charlotte. when that is still soft and in the mold, or when you release it and it's come back to room temperature and it's a little bit softer, you can make a little groove in the middle of it by just gently, you know, going in there back and forth with your stick, your little skewer, whatever you have. Hi, Kathy. Isn't that so fun, Kim? How are you, Charlotte? Nice to see you. And then I would put the second piece right over the top of it so that your skewer or your stick is sandwiched in between. Leave a little hang out the bottom and let those dry really nicely on parchment paper. Hi, Mary Lou. And you will have a really fun, larger bottle topper. As long as you keep these in a sealed container, they are going to remain flexible. Hi, Marianne. Nice to have you, hon. And then you can do your painting, your staining, your, you know, spray painting, whatever you want to do. It works beautifully. What was I going to say about that I just thought of? Oh, if you don't lay your pieces on parchment paper, let's say you just lie it on, you know, like a wooden surface. Hi, Michelle, back as pretty pieces. Thanks, Paula. I didn't see you on. Thank you for joining. The 3D molds. I'm sorry, I missed that. Then the thinner molds. Sometimes I agree with you, Carrie, and sometimes the molds, it could just be the mold that you have a stubborn one. I've run into that a couple times here in the last couple weeks. Topper demonstrating and ideas would be great. I'd be happy to do that someday. Absolutely, Mary Grace. That's a great idea. I have a ton of them, and sometimes I don't like to spend a lot of money on the molds, so don't be afraid to try them from Temu. I've got quite a few of the little 3D ones, and they all work fantastic. Oh, thank you, Jill. Absolutely. Thank you guys for those hearts. So as you see, I'm twirling this around because it's just fun to do. That's okay, sweet Kim. Happy to have you back. Thank you, Charlotte. So if you just set them on wood or, you know, a smooth surface that that isn't on parchment paper, well, thank you, Miss Paula. It is in deep need of something right in this area. Hi, my beautiful Robin. Nice to have you. When it dries, it's going to tend to pull the moisture out of here from the bottom, right? Isn't that so cute, Carrie? And it's going to stick to that surface. And then oftentimes I'm like, come on, I can get it off of there. And I end up ripping some of it or tearing some of it. It'll leave behind my Formflex, and then I'm angry and have to redo it. Yep, it happens. I get a little angry and frustrated sometimes. And it's perfect. I hurried up and canceled my Let's Resin order. Oh, good. Art Resin. Perfect, Diane. I'm so happy that it worked for you. You are so welcome. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Michelle. And then too, if you're going to put it on a bottle, I know we've talked about this a few times before. Say that you have a beautiful frame piece, you know, a round, let me see if, do I have any in here? I think I put them all away. But just like a round little piece of Formflex that you can fit over to make it look like a picture frame. Hi, Anne. And I have that really large one that we did not long ago. Aw, Martha, thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, Virginia. Thank you, Mary Grace, for that sprinkle. You can set it on your glass surface, your glass bottle, and gravity will just start pulling it down. So it's going to actually form to your bottle. I love how much you detail and teach about the products. I'm so glad that you do, Stacy. Thank you for saying that. Hi, Lena. Thank you for joining. But there again, if you're going to put it on a glass surface and kind of let it do its drying and forming around your glass, put a piece of parchment paper between the glass bottle and your Formflex. You've never seen me get angry. I never will on here. I never will. I can tell you it takes a lot for me to get upset. And mainly it's more just frustration, I would say. I guess if I get pushed enough, I can get fairly angry, but not very often. Okay, so I think I covered most of the tips, and I just want to kind of challenge you to, if you have some different molds like this, just know you don't have to use the whole portion of what's in there. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate it. So here it is, for example. These top pieces, I've already adhered onto the bottle, all of these, so we could get right into painting it. Hi, Luann. So these top pieces right here are just the side pieces of that large middle area. And if you kind of take, you know, this part away, These to me also look like they could be angel wings. Hey, sweet Wayne, how are you? Nice to see you. So if you kind of look at things a little bit differently, you might think to yourself, I don't have an angel wing mold. Well, if you have something else, it might work. So I think I'm going to be using these as angel wings in the near future. Well, thank you, Wayne. I appreciate it. And then on the top, around the neck of the bottle, on both sides, what you see there is just the middle of that middle mold there. So I only filled that area. You could also fill the whole thing, and when it is kind of hanging out for your 24 hours, hi Fondia, so good to see you, hon. After it has kind of set for 24 hours and it's not quite as soft anymore. Stacy, I have had some really good luck with the Temu ones. In fact, the 3D ones are fantastic. Hey, sweet Stephanie. Hi, Tana. Nice to have you. Hey, Cindy. The ones that I find a little bit challenging are the ones that are super shallow. And sometimes it's a little hard to see that when you're ordering. How are you, Fundy? It's so good to have you. You just did one, Stacy? I have several of those type of bottles in my stash. So I was like, let's do a bottle today. Something, something I haven't done one of in a little bit. And then take a little, take your little palette knife or a little X-Acto tool, and you can just cut out, the pieces that you want. And you can use your finger while it's still a little bit soft to kind of soften the edge on it a little, or you can also file them. So when they're sat for, I would say 48 hours, that's my preference. Hi, sweet Jess. Then you can come in with even just a little nail file if you have like some small edges on there. You're watching some dock runners. That sounds fun. Hey, Sandy. And then just gently, I usually go in just one direction, and you can file away a little bit of that like rough edge. It works fantastic. Hi, Terry, welcome in. All right, so all of these I put on with Tite Bond Quick and Thick. How are you, Sandy? So nice to see you. And then I did 2 of those molds that were on the each side of this. How are you, Jess? Nice to see you. And what I did is I did not wait for the full 24 to 48 hours to adhere these, and I'll tell you why. When you wait, if you wait 24, 48 hours, you're not going to have any cracking on your FormFlex. It is beautiful. You like them also, Donna Sue? They are really nice, and they're super affordable, which I really like, right? On this piece, I want this to look a little bit shabby chic, and I want there to be some cracks and some age look to it. Hi, Helen. So if you start applying them to your surface a little bit before they are set up, I will say, for that 24 hours, I'm glad, Jess. So happy to hear that. I knew what you meant, sweet Donna Sue. You might get a crack or two. I'm going to find a couple here for you, like right there. I kind of like that. So for me, it was totally fine with me to put these on while they were still a little softer. Hey, Liz, darling, how are you? And I didn't really even need to use my co-band much on these. When they are softer, what did I drop down here? They are still, fairly at risk of you kind of marring up the detail on them. So it's kind of a sweet spot on when to put them on. I think I did these, they probably sat a good 12 hours and then I put them on. So they still had some softness to them. And other pieces of, like here, I did these little fleur-de-lis a couple days ago, and I did not put them in my sealed container yet, and they are still flexible. So you don't have to worry about that. Also, the co-band here. Charlotte, thank you so much for asking. They're doing great. I appreciate you asking. Co-band or vet wrap, as you get one on with your Tite Bond Quick and Thick, my suggestion on the glue is less is more. So this will dry clear if some of it kind of tends to go out the sides on you a little bit. Hey, Sheila. But I do try to get at it if I see it with just a little, dry brush. I'll kind of whisk it away. And anything that we miss, you're not going to see it. But I find putting my glue on the bottom of my the bottom of my little Form Flex piece here, I'll use my finger to kind of spread it out. Hey, Tammy. And I don't put it all the way to the edge because when you're pushing this down to adhere it onto your project, you're gonna get some that squishes out, you know? And then after I put the glue on, I leave it sit for maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, I would say, before I pick it up and then put it on. Let that type on quick and thick just get a little bit tacky, if you will. And that's how I get them to stay on there really well. If you have a stubborn one, after they have kind of set that, like, you know, like at least that 12 hours, you want to be careful because if you put this on too tight, I wrap it around my piece and I pull it pretty tight to put some pressure on them so I don't have to sit here and hold it, right? That's what this is, Sweet Shannon. Co-band or vet wrap. It works fantastic. You can get this on Amazon. It should be in my link tree actually. And sometimes places that have like a vet, or I'm sorry, like an animal department, like your Fleet Farms and things like that, sell this also. Hi, Helen. And it's really stretchy. It sticks to itself. Hey, Darlene. And then you can put it over your molds, even your resin pieces, and kind of pull it tight. It sticks right to itself, which is fantastic. And then I don't have to hold it on there. And I can just come back several hours later. I remove this off, and now my pieces are adhered nicely. So if you do have a little glue that kind of squishes out, just be careful when you're taking your co-band off, because when that dries, it might stick to it and you're gonna feel a little tension. How are you, Helen? This is what it looks like if you order it from Amazon, and it is super reasonable. You get a whole bunch of them and you can reuse these for quite a few times, I will say. Well, thank you, sweet Alexandria, as I appreciate you, and thank you for seeing that. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. Okay, so now that we've gone through all of that, we're going to paint this. We are going to use a very pretty paper from Reba Rose. This is called Rose Spray Background. It's SKU number 1494. Hey, Stephanie. So I have included my link to Reba Rose in the description of the live today. Thanks, Shannon. I appreciate it. And first we're going to paint because we're going to come back in with a glaze. Many of you may have seen me already use Van Dyke Brown Glaze from Paint Couture. And so I kind of want this to look a little aged, a little shabby chic, but I just want a little bit of like a pop of color. So we're going to put that on the front and the back. Hey, Sherry. Then I have some Form Flex rose molds that come from a mold called Felicity. These are also pretty 3D-ish, and I love them. Hey, Valerie. So we're going to do that same process to these and put one on the front and the back. You got a roll at Dollar Tree. That's happy, Beverly. I'm glad to know that. Hi, Mariel. Nice to have you. Thank you for joining me. So first things first, we're going to paint the whole bottle in this angelic color from Paint Couture. It's just a nice, super soft, like a creamy white, I will call it, off-white. But soft looking, not stark. Thanks, Carrie. Hi, Diana. So nice to see you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It looks like our sunshine is going away. So if you are in need of Paint Couture, you would find that on my All Paint Products link. Just go in my link tree. It's !LINKTREE. Hi, Sammy. It breaks apart when dry. Yes, the Form Flex is so nice, if that's what you're referring to, Helen Hun, because I have a little container from the dollar store with a lid on it, and as I make these, some nights that's what I do. I just make a whole bunch of different castings. I lay them all out on like a cookie sheet with my parchment paper on there, and then when they're, you know, dried for that 24 hours or so, hi, Leah, I put them in that container in between pieces of parchment with my lid, and they're good to go. And they're going to stay flexible indefinitely, really. So I completely understand that. Hi, Renee. Nice to see you. Yes, Form Flex. Okay. And I mean, like that detail in there. Every little petal is picked up. So beautiful. So let's paint. I think Greg is home. He's probably like, are you alive, girl? So I did, of course, this bottle I had spray primed when it was still nice outside. Hi, Dawn. Thank you guys for those hearts. I appreciate it greatly. So I was kind of looking in my stash out in the garage and I'm like, ooh, I already have one primed. I'm going to use it. Hi, Sammy. How are you? And I will show you the difference of what I mean when I say a soft white versus a stark white. I'm sure you know, but I'll show you anyway. So the Zinsser spray primer that I love is a, hi Cheryl, nice to see you. It's a good thing he's adorable, right? You're right, Kim? It could have been toilet paper. That would have been worse. Or something else. My dog always used to pull stuff out of the garbage. Hi, Dawn. So good to see you. The Zinsser is my favorite. It does come in like a pint or a quart size jar, my apologies. And you can paint it on. But I don't love that application as much as the spray. It's just too cold here now to use my Zinsser primer. So down there is the stark white of the primer, and then you can see where I painted. It's just a super soft, like vintagey white to me. I like it. So you're gonna see some magic happen if you have never seen me use Van Dyke Brown before. It's a lot of fun to do. Hi B, nice to see you. You don't freeze them. Freeze the castings, hon? Okay, sweet Trish, I will check it out. That was a disaster, I believe it. I did freeze them initially. I bet he had a heyday, right? That's okay, Ann, you are never late. Hi, Mom Barb. You can get your FormFlex at www.formflex.com. And I don't have an affiliation with them at all. Hi, Barbara Ann. I just really love it. Really love it. And then there is a FormFlex Facebook page where you can see how to use it, how to fill your molds. Oh my God, Tammy is amazing when she does things and posts on there. You guys got to check it out. She is amazing. Hi, Dorabelle. I made these out of FormFlex, and those molds themselves came from all different areas. Thank you, Barbara Ann. I appreciate it. Some of them I order on Amazon. Some of them I get on Temu. I do use a good amount of IOD molds. Those you can get by going to my sweet friend Victoria's page, Old to Ooh La La Art. She was in the comments here a little earlier. She is your lady for all things IOD. And then I also have purchased a few off of Amazon, like the Prima ones. Sometimes you can find those on Etsy, really, really good deals. A very nice warm white. You've got it, Alexandria. Thank you. And I'm using this nasty brush again that sheds all those little bristles. Let's try a different one. Let's try this one. All right. This is a lot smaller, but I do need something to get in those details. So I did initially freeze these before I took them out of the molds. If that's what you were asking, I apologize. And then I let these particular ones sit for maybe a good 12 hours or so before I put them on. And by doing that, sometimes you're gonna get some little cracks in these versus if you wait 24 hours, I would say, you shouldn't get any cracks. But I kind of wanted a few just to help age it up a little, so that it's not looking too fresh, you know? When you release these out of your molds and they come back to room temperature, they're gonna be super soft. So if you were to try to paint them or put them on when they're that soft, at least for me, I don't like to, because more often than not, I'll end up squishing it a little bit, get rid of some of the detail on accident when I'm pushing it down, you know, so I don't do it at that point. So I know the painting part is boring, but part of the process, right? And on the little top pieces here, I wasn't even upset if they weren't, you know, a perfect line across. Well, Robbie, how are you, sweet lady? So good to see you. I hope you're doing all right. Because I want this to kind of look, you're welcome, Anne, you know, to make it look a little vintage-like. So if you don't want the cracks, I definitely recommend waiting 24 hours. That's just me, just my opinion. Robbie, it is so good to see you. All right, so I do want to get down in all that little nook and cranny area. And of course, this is the most boring part, right? So let's have a topic so we can chat a little bit. Hi, Lori. So good to have you guys. What's everybody having for supper? That seems to be the common question. I was gonna have leftovers, and Greg told me about, I don't know what day it was anymore. Monday, Tuesday, I'm not sure. Hi, Deborah. That they had lunch catered in when he was out of town doing some training, and they had Panera. Do you guys have a Panera near you? I haven't ordered from there forever, and it's super, super close by to us. I do like it, but I think it's a little costly, you know. But he said that he had a Mediterranean vegetable sandwich and that it was so, so good. And once in a while, I like that. Even though I love meat, don't get me wrong, scrambled eggs and cheese, that sounds good. Hi, Tanya. Sometimes breakfast for supper is amazing, right? Aw, thank you, Diane. Homemade vegetable beef soup sounds amazing, Trish. High protein soup and a sourdough roll. That sounds fantastic. On your way to Acapulco? Oh my gosh, Robin, how happy. Have a wonderful time, hun. How exciting. So yeah, he said, oh my God, it was so good. It had feta cheese on it and, you know, all kind of different vegetables, some peppers, and some kind of a happy, like, tomato basil bread, I think it was. But they think a lot of it. Yeah, exactly. Homemade vegetable soup that your daughter brought back. That's awesome, Beverly. I love that. Love when you don't have to cook, right? It's a nice little break. So in my excursions today of running around, I stopped on my very last stop and I picked myself up one, and that is what I am going to have. I think it sounded pretty good to me. Greg is having something else for supper tonight, so I said, you know what? I think I might have a girl supper one of these days for dinner. Hi, Gretchen. Welcome in. Hi, Patty. I love their broccoli and cheese soup as well, Jackie. I haven't had their French onion because I'm not a big French onion person. Oh, Donna Sue, you need some homemade chicken soup. They have seen to make their products smaller and prices higher. Isn't that the case? You're right there. Homemade vegetable soup seems to be a common thread, Teresa, and cornbread. That sounds really good too. I'm getting hungry. I also like their creamy mushroom, I think it is. Homemade beef stew with barley on Sunday. Yum, Rach. Your dad and stepmom came to drop something off. That's okay, Jennifer. Hi, Faye. Welcome in. Having a little strip steak with garlic. Oh my God, Diane, that sounds great. Super great. Uh-oh. I hear the doorbell. I think the Gregster's up there. So yeah, I was like, let's have a little girl dinner tonight. That's what I like to call it. Hey, Georgiana, hun. And I am a big radish lover. Does anybody else like radishes as much as I do, like all year long? Yep, I hear Greg up there. So there's a couple stores by us where you can buy radishes in bulk, and that's what I prefer versus buying them in a bag. I think they're so much better, and I could eat them every single day. I try to limit them a little bit because they do hurt my stomach. You like a quiche? That sounds so good. I am gonna make a keto hamburger casserole. I don't follow keto, but I like this one, and Greg really likes it too. And it's super, super easy. Hi, Tamara, how are you? I sure can, Beverly, hun. Al took you to an organic store in Mequon. That sounds fun, Rach. Baked ham and scalloped potatoes and green beans. Alexandria, I'll be right there. With salt. Me too, Denise. Chicken, green beans, and potatoes sounds fantastic, Jennifer. Mary Grace loves them. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Hi, Deborah, hun. I have really good memories of when I was a little girl and my dad had a massive garden that we were always having to weed as kids. Hey, Sherry. And he, you know, radishes are usually the first thing to come up, the easiest and the fastest. So he would just keep a little shaker out in the garage on top of the fridge out there, and all dads at that time carried a pocket, you know. So he would just kind of use his hands to clean them off a little bit, cut the bad parts off, use his shirt or whatever to clean it up, and we would just sit on the railroad ties of the garden and eat radishes. I do put a coat of a white cream ivory paint over my primer, hun. Right, Diane? Let me show you that glue again before I forget. Tight Bond, quick and thick. Hi, sweet Gloria, darling. That liked to dig up radishes and eat them, and he would belch real loud. I bet he would. Oh, Helen, I'm sorry about that. Hi, Edna. I am making some Valentine's while watching you. I didn't know I was hungry, but now you are, right, Kath? Hi, Donna. So good to see you. I just figured the painting part is kind of blah, so it's fun to talk about things, and then we can also get ideas on other supper, you know, supper things. Where do you find that glue? So you can get it at Walmart. You can also find it at places like Home Depot, Menards. Menards is the cheapest if you have one of those near you. If you have a Meijer, they carry it. Hi, Darlene, hun. Oh, Alexandria, I would love that more than anything. I just want to travel and visit all of you and, you know, every week go someplace else. Hi, Claudia. Nice to see you. Wouldn't that be fun? And so when I was done priming this, yes, I always paint a lighter color over it. For example, if you're going to rice paper, so that your rice paper, you know, pops on nicely with a lighter color under it. Otherwise, you just paint it whatever color you're going to paint your project, you know. I don't yet, Shannon, because you have to have like StreamYard or something like that to be able to do that, and I don't have that one. That's okay, no problem. Hi, Barb. These are Formflex molds, actually, Barb. Well, you can't beat our temps, right, Gloria? You cannot find that glue on Amazon, really? I'm surprised that they don't have it, hun. I would sure think they do. I don't think I've ever ordered it off of there. So Formflex is this stuff right here. I talked a lot about it in the beginning of the video. If you have time to watch the replay at all, just some tips and tricks and all the things, how I kind of use it, what works good for me, and you might find that, you know, different things work better for you. So I just put my 2 cents worth in there to give you a start. Hi, Laura. You haven't seen it at the craft stores, really? Where do you find the Formflex molds? Well, you can use, Barb, any molds, actually. You can put your Formflex in any molds, be it from a garage sale, a thrift store, online, anything you want. The Formflex itself, if you're looking to try that, you just go to www.formflexcompound.com. Jennifer, that would be fun. I've never been. I haven't found it there, and I haven't seen it at the craft stores. That is so weird to me. I'm trying to think if like Hobby Lobby or Joann's or Michael's carries it. Not hard. Oh, I would love doing that, Kath. I would love it. Hi, Tess. It has been a while, sweet Laura. How are you? I was just at Hobby Lobby today, and their glues are usually, you know, like right in the front of the store. At least they're hot glue and they're Fabri-Tac and stuff like that. You could use a candy mold. Absolutely, Helen. Sometimes I even have had luck at Walmart finding molds there. Look in their clearance section. I have found some really cute ones that were kind of clearanced out for Christmas, but they could be used for other things too. Hi, Phyllis. You've bought yours on Amazon, your Tight Bond, Shannon? But I was just, where was I looking today? It might have been Hobby Lobby. I think so. And in the Valentine's aisle, they had the little candy molds with the little hearts in there. You could definitely use those. Any kind of little silicone mold would be fantastic. Hi, Mary. All right, so I got to pay attention here for a second so I can kind of see where I've painted and where I haven't. And hopefully this is going to turn out like I'm hoping. So guys, we're going to be doing another cloche. I know. Be ready for more of those. I can't help it. For $6.58. That's fantastic. Good to know. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Spirit Rider. How are you, hon? Perfect. Hi, Faye. How are you? Thank you so much for putting that in there, dear. Even, you know, some of the more shallow molds that I've gotten on Amazon or Temu, I find the ones on Temu that are pink, they are usually a bit more shallow. They do work. I just have to be a little bit more patient with them, but I'll throw that out there, that those seem to be the bit more shallow ones to me. Oh, awesome, Shannon. Thank you so much. You ordered them. Awesome. I'm so glad, Gloria. I did take a little sandpaper to this after I primed it, just to kind of rough up a little bit of the surface, because I guess what I see in my mind is this being, you know, pretty organic looking and kind of aged with cracks and scars, we'll call them. So I cannot help those cloche molds because you can do so many things with them. So we are actually going to, I want to start a journal. We talked about that real recently here when we did the one with all the Christmas cards that I was very inspired to make by Robin at Robin Song. Hello, Mary. Nice to see you. How are things for you? You use paste. What kind of paste, hon? I'm curious. Like modeling paste, maybe? My sweet sister Rachel, who has her page, Two Ladies and a Laser. She was in the comments earlier. Hey, Jody. She made me these absolutely beautiful wood pieces for a journal. And when we did the Christmas card one, I talked about making one and putting in all the cards, all the little notes and things that I have gotten over the last 2.5 years from all of you guys. Thank you, Trina, darling. I appreciate it. The super shallow fondue type molds are definitely more challenging, but if you have a flexible matte modeling paste, okay, good to know. I haven't tried them in there. Just ordered it. That's awesome, Beverly. Good. Hi, Deborah. You're gonna love it. If you are used to using clay and then you go to Formflex, I had a little bit of a learning curve there because there's just a few different things you want to do. And I kind of went through and explained most of that in the beginning. We'll do another live again in the near future where we just fill molds and, you know, talk about how to get them out the best way. I'll have some in the freezer that I can go get and we can release together, and I'll show you those. I'm sure some things will happen to me that will happen to you. Hi, Elaine. Nice to see you, darling. There is my sweet Rach in the comments. Two Ladies and a Laser. I'm going to show you that that little journal kit that she made me, or journal covers, I should say. And we are going to be putting a cloche on one of those. That's okay, Carrie. Aw, Betsy. Elaine, so nice to have you. So I already picked out the paper for that. They kind of just sit in my little, behind my Oz curtain there. Hi, Joanne. Hey, Mary. And somebody had mentioned something when we did that live, and I said, you know what? I am going to do that because all of those little notes, those little cards that you all have sent, even if it was on a Post-it note, I've kept it. It means a lot to me. Hi, Martha. Faye. Okay, good to know. Stampers cream paste. I've never heard of that. But I do have, you know, some varying different things like that that might work. I gotta give that a shot. And I think some ladies said that they've used, it's not spackle, but like caulk from the dollar store. Pretty sure. I haven't done that in quite some time, actually. Yes. Do you want to say hi? No? Okay.
I'm not dressed for it.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The Gregster's down here, just checking if I was live. Oh, right, Gloria, good. Hi, Barbara. Frankers is here.
Right, guys.
I could pick him up and he could say hi, but he probably will run away when I try to grab him.
Yeah,
He left already. Love you, babe.
love you too. Hi, everybody on Keli-Kat land.
Aw, Greg says hi, everybody. Hey, Martha. Hi, Mary Beth. Hey, Betty. He said he wasn't dressed for coming on a live. Hi, Denise. Not dressed for it, yep. He just got home from work. Hello, mister. I will tell him. He might pop on now. Now that he knows I'm live. So I hope that when we do that journal, that it'll inspire you maybe to do something like that with either Christmas cards, or we talked that day about, you know, some of us save cards that we get from our friends and family. I have several in a dresser drawer. I don't know why they're that we, you know, that I keep them. Mom Barb said hi. I wish he would have said hello. Hey, Connie. I will let him know you all send your well wishes and hellos. But yeah, I like that kind of stuff, and you never really get to see it. So wouldn't that be fun to do, you know, a little journal using all those things? And guys, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to journaling, but I'm told that there's really not rules. She would absolutely have some available for sale, Darlene. All you have to do is reach on out to her, and she makes them in varying sizes. She makes the little wooden tags as well, if you ever have interest in those, of different sizes. She did that super, super large and in charge one. Hi, Cindy. I will tell them, Alexandria. If you watch me do a couple of those, they were huge. They were super fun to do. You have about 100, Beverly? I probably do too, at least. But most of them are in a dresser drawer. I think that's because my mama always put hers in there, so that's probably why I did it too. And she can make you different sizes on the journal covers as well. She's pretty fantastic when it comes to most things, including being a wonderful sister, right? It is, Sweet Carrie. And working on her laser. How do you get your notifications? Barbara, if you type in your comments, !notify, N-O-T-I-F-Y, lowercase, no spaces. Hi, Ruby. You should get back a little notification with a link that will take you to my Telegram channel. And then once you're in the channel, down towards the bottom, it's gonna say join. You have to click join. And then you will get a little notification when I'm gonna go live. I go into my Telegram channel, I type a little message in there, going live in 15 minutes, whatever. Doesn't he realize some of us are in our pajamas? I know, right? I try to tell him that. Hi, Mickey, so good to see you. How are you? In between projects, I have so many going on again right now. Thursday night, then the wind changed. Oh, Mary, I'm so sorry for anybody who is dealing with the fires. Hi, Virginia. You have a tub full of birthday cards. Yeah, I think a lot of us saved them. So before I forget, let me just show you. Let me show you the cover. This is a super nice size. My name went in. I'm sorry, I missed that. When are you going to draw for the goodie bag? Won't know if you win. If you do win, sweetheart, I would reach out to you. Never could get the Telegram thingy to work for me. That's so weird. There should be a spot that you can, like if you click anywhere on the screen right now, it would say turn on live notifications. If you see that pop up, then you should be getting notifications and a thumbs up from me doing that all the time from the Book of Face, but sometimes that doesn't always work, so Telegram seems to be the best way. If you've ever had an issue with your Telegram, like joining it through the way I just said, the ! notify, send me a direct message and I will send you my link to Telegram and we'll see if that helps at all. It's because I did not realize that the little box scrolls over. Oh, I see what you mean, hun. I see what you mean, sweet Kim. And then if you put in ! follow age, like you see there in the comments, it'll tell you how long you've been following. But I will say most of the time you have to do it from your personal name. If you try to do it from your business name, it may not always work and it might pop back and say you're not following. And that's just because of your business page name, that's all. So I'm gonna measure this right quick so I can give you the size of this one. You keep all yours too, Pamela? Yeah. I click on live notifications. Okay, perfect, Shannon. So this is 8 by 11. So this is a super nice size because I have cards of all varying size, shapes, all the things, right? Hi, Carolyn Ruth. Nice to see you. Hey, Donna. If I miss you guys coming in, hello. Thank you so much for being here. She puts the little holes right in there for you. I'm not sure. That seems to be my biggest... You do too, Gloria. If you guys need my direct link, just send me a direct message and I'll send it to you, and maybe that would help doing it that way. So I did paint these. They come to you looking like this. Beautiful. And I know I'm going to use some rice paper on here, so I just painted it in a creamy ivory chalk paint. How are you, Carolyn Ruth? Good to see you. I think for journaling, my struggle is like, I know I can put some kind of lace and things through here. Hi, Robin. You know, to hold it together, you could use jute, twine, things like that. And then I see that some people sew in their pieces. I have no idea how to do that. But I'm going to make the best of this and see what I can't come up with it. And so definitely reach out. You can have a different size journal cover if you want. But isn't this a nice way to keep it lasting beautifully? Hi, Grace. Well, Eileen, I appreciate you saying that. Click on the screen, bottom right corner, click follow. Thank you, TT. So if you're not following, that is a way that you could follow. If you click on your screen anywhere and it shows following, you are already following. They are, yes. I see that, Rachel. If it says follow, that means you aren't following. Hi, Rhonda. And sometimes the Book of Face will unfollow you. So I like to let people know to check on their crafters. Make sure when you're watching a live, just click anywhere on the live right now. And if it says following, you're good to go. If it says follow, you need to follow again. What link are they needing? I may have it to comment for you. Hi, Karen. My Telegram, darling. Sweet Trina. My Telegram. So we're going to dry this up just a little bit. I think, or I know for sure we want this really good and dry when we do our next step, which is our Van Dyke Brown Glaze from Paint Couture. And you might freak out a little bit if you've never seen me do it before, but it is super, super worth it, let me tell you. So I'm not actually gonna decoupage on my beautiful Reba Rose paper until I have that all done, the glazing. Mickey, you're not getting notified, hon? Have you joined my Telegram at all? You have unlimited rice paper piles. That's happy, Gloria, right? I'm trying to find a better way to organize my rice paper. People, I met them at the Crafty Edge event. Oh, Carolyn, how wonderful. I would love, love to meet sweet Tammy. Hi, Jane. I can show you sometime. Hi, Marianne. How are you, hun? Remind me what you're going to show me, sweetheart. I forget. You are on my Telegram and you don't get it. So you might want to go in there. Hey, sweet Kathy, darling. Nice to see you. I don't know why, but sometimes Telegram will mute you. And if you go into Telegram, there is a little box. I think it's a little microphone. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look again to be positive. But if that has a line through it, you're on mute. Hi, Terry. And then you won't get notifications. So you can click that to take it off of mute, and that should do it. And sometimes that happens to me too. I don't know what in the world the rhyme or reason is and why that happens. Just like half the things on the Book of Face, right? You didn't get notified. I'm so sorry, hun. We were just talking about Telegram. When you figure that out, please tell me. Gosh, I forget what we were talking about. By subject. Really, Mickey? Storage envelopes. That is so interesting. I would love to see that. Hi, Lori. I'm wondering why. It could just be a Book of Face thing. You know how they change things all the time? The other day I wasn't getting comments again. I have seen those, sweet cat. They are in my cart, actually. How she keeps hers is beautiful. Hi, sweet Lisa. You're gonna go check? Okay, Kathy, hun. I do have mine, Darlene, in the plastic sheets right now. Thank you, Trina, hun. There is my Telegram link. You did, Gloria. Okay, hun. How you organize your rice papers. Okay, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, Carrie. So I have them in like little plastic sheet protectors. Hi, Amy. And then I have like little, those little binder circle things on the end of it. Sewing a binding in a journal. Thank you, TT. I appreciate it. I did see it, sweet Trina. Thank you so much. Hi, Lisa. So nice to have you. Hi, Alice. I don't know, the binders that I have, they just don't work because they're not the right size. I tried that for a good while. And then when I'm pulling them, you know, like in and out of those those sheet protectors all the time, it drives me crazy. Some will fly out. Some I have a hard time getting back in, you know. A plastic full page. Okay, Joanne. Thanks you, Elizabeth. Yikes. Hi, Linda. There it is again. Sweet Trina put in my Telegram link there. But try those couple things if you haven't checked to see if you're on mute. That might be part of it. Hey, sweet Kimberly, how are you, hun? I will show you how I have mine organized, and it's just it drives me crazy. Crazy, I say. All right. So the reason we want this nice and dry is that glaze, otherwise it's going to kind of mix with our color and get kind of muddied up and nasty looking. So thank you so much for your patience with the painting and the drying. And I will make sure I do the bottom of this, but for today we'll just get the glaze on there, and then I think what we'll do is part 2 of this. As I like to say, where we put our rice paper on, we'll do our embellishing and such. We will paint up our little other rose pieces and our topper, and I'll be doing that same glaze on those. That's okay, sweet Gloria. Oh, it drives me crazy when that stuff happens, doesn't it? I'm glad you're back. And we're gonna keep this fairly simple, I think. Sometimes I think we can do something with a mold like this, using one mold, different pieces of it. Thank you, Kimberly. And I'm using Angelic paint from Paint Couture, and then that beautiful rose background rice paper. It is rose spray background. And if you need my Reba Rose link, it is in the description of the live today. And then we're gonna do just a simple, like sari silk type, kind of a messy bundle on here. And keep it real simple. That's it. You could definitely fine line crackle this. We may do it. Amazon, that fits really well. Yes, that's the one that I have in my Amazon cart. I sure hope it's gonna turn out okay. Isn't that paper so pretty? Hi, Jennifer. So before I forget, so this is how I have some of my rice papers stored. Some of them are loose, because I'm annoyed and I don't want to put them back in my little pieces like this. You've used it several times, Faye? That's good. Hey, sweet Reba, there you are right away, as we were just talking about your paper. So then I just have this little guy holding it together on the top, and I have several like little bundles of these, but they drive me nuts. Hey, Deborah. Hi, sweet Vicky. So we are going to be using a Reba Rose paper with the other molds that I told you about that I kind of have in the freezer right now. You can get the A4 envelopes on Temu. Mickey, thank you so much for putting that in there, hon. I didn't realize that. Hey, Stacy, I haven't been on the Temu in quite some time. So the one we're gonna use, the other Form Flex molds where I just use some pieces of some different molds, is going to be, I'm not sure which one yet. I'm having a hard time deciding. We're either gonna do this one, very vintage-like colors, I think is so beautiful. Oh, I just love that. That one is called Romancing, I believe, SKU number 1493. Or we might do this one and kind of give it a patina effect. I'm not sure which one. Thank you, my beautiful Trina. There is my link to Reba Rose right in the comments. That one is called You Hold My Heart, and it is SKU number 1479. So what do you guys, which one would you guys like to see? We'll say number 1 or number 2. And we'll kind of go with the common thread there. Okay, so I am gonna lie this down. I think we're pretty good. So you can kind of see now all that like scruff and rough. Hi, Lori. They are both, I know, Teresa, 1479. That is the second one, the patina, okay. Reba, thank you so much for being here. Faye says number 1, all right. Number 2, Donna Sue, you like the second one. You like the second one, quite a few for number 2, the patina looking one. Elizabeth says number 1. So, I mean, there's nothing perfect about this, and I love it. And your first was 1, You Hold My Heart, number 2. Number 1, oof, I think number 2 still has it. Hi, Juanita. That's kind of what we're starting with here. Number 1, ooh, I'm gonna have to go back and look and kind of take a count. Number 2, I think number 2 still has it. Larger margin I had to trim to fit, but very easy to organize. Okay, good to know. Number 2, number 1, it's a toss-up on both, right? As long as I have this dirty brush out here that I've already used, I'm just gonna really quickly get some paint on these roses because I would like to show you how to do one of those. Number 2, you're welcome, sweet Reba. Absolutely, Kim, I can. The first one has more of like the pinks and greens in there, cream colors, peaches, kind of vintagey looking. That's number 1. Oh, so stinking sweet. And then the second one to me is like the gold, kind of the patina colors, both, right? Oh, that's why they are sitting out there loose because I cannot decide. I cannot. I'm gonna put a glove on here. Your next job is to organize. I think I redo it, organizing every single day I'm down here. Thanks, Susan. Number 1, number 2. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and look. And I'll tell you what we end up doing. They are so beautiful. And the paper itself, the rice paper, is so nice and so easy to work with, guys. You cannot go wrong. I would agree for number 2. Number 2. Hi, Karen. I'm telling ya, we'll end up doing both for sure, but on the project that I have in mind, I need to make a decision so that I can go with, you know, whatever I pick and pick everything else to go with it. Mom Barb says 1, Deanna says 2, 1 on each side, right, Darlene? You could definitely do that. Sweet Robin did a really cute little, like a little shelf sitter frame the other night with cloches on both sides. Just, you know, I think she did a bunny one on one side and maybe it was a fairy on the other side. I know, isn't that so beautiful? I do too. Hey, Evelyn. And I also have that really fun patina paint set from TH Decor. Hi, Roxanne. On Amazon, 9x12 sheets of paper goes in the top. You can put it back to back. Okay, good to know. Thank you so much for putting that in there. I'm not sure what I all have in my cart, but you know how you can save things for later. I think when Robin talked about hers, I went ahead and put it in my cart as a save for later. I so need them. I also thought about getting something that had, you know, multiple drawers in it. Hi, Brenda. How are you, hon? So nice to have you, Roxanne. Thank you for joining. Where they could just be loose in there, you know what I mean? And then I could put them, like you were saying, organized by theme or what have you, by season. But I haven't really found anything like that that's gonna fit with what I need and that I have a place to put them, you know. I have all kinds of little containers and such here, hiding out everywhere. Hey Mel, nice to have you. All right, so I just want to, this doesn't have to be perfect because wherever that paint is kind of missing, that beautiful glaze is going to fill it in. And then I'm painting the topper with this as well. So I'm just going kind of fast. Hi, Catherine, because we've just been doing a ton of painting and chatting. I hope that's okay. Especially when it's not even like a pretty color, right? It's nothing bright. It's a soft, warm white. And I might have to enlist Greg to help me with this part on the topper because I'm thinking I could put it through a wine bottle cork, and if he could screw through that for me, then I could just stuff this down in there a little ways, put that in the bottle, and would have a little height to it. A rod and hangers. That could work, sweet Lisa. By seasons or whatever. Kim, that's a great idea. This is called Angelic Sweet Carrie from Paint Couture. I will hold it up and show you. So the Form Flex is white, but this is more of a, just a really warm white. Not a stark white, I like to say. How are you, sweet Shannon? And on those 3D ones, I mean, all these little layers, I just kind of push the paint down in there as best I can. Okay, I think that's pretty good. The rest looks good. So, Angelic, hi Janet. And share them with my hub so he knows. Yes, Mickey, I have a few of those too, and that's what I have my daughter do also for her and her family. For Henley, you have a headache, Jennifer. I hope you feel better, sweetie. Thank you so much for being here. How are you, Janet? And then hang them on a pegboard. That's a great idea. Hi, Roz. I don't have any room for a pegboard down here, guys. And my Paint Couture Angelic, I have had this for quite some time, guys. And it was a little bit nasty when I opened it up today. But I just took a little popsicle stick. Oh, right, Shannon? That always feels good. And stirred it up really well. I did add just a tiny little bit of water to it, stirred it up again. Hey, Stephanie. And it's good to go. So, and I've had that for quite some time. Your Paint Couture paints last forever. This is one of my favorite warm whites, so I did get it in a larger container. All right, so here is where the fun is about to happen, all right? And I will go back and look at what you all said for your choice of 1 or 2. We're gonna dry one of those roses just a little bit. Thanks, Vicki. So you can kind of see what I'm going for with that Van Dyke Brown glaze. It is a favorite. The other one is called Black Chiffon, just as beautiful. But with that particular print, I thought that this one would look really good with this. And so I have in the works, somebody shared something recently, a little mantelscape, I'll call it. Hi Sheila, sweet lady. Roses are fabulous. Thank you so much, Pamela. Oh, Lisa, I'm so sorry to hear that. My deepest sympathy, hon. Hi, Riri, darling. How are you? Oh, there's so many terrible things and tragedies in the world. You know, I hear about so many every single day. How is my pretty Sheila doing? And it's just heartbreaking to me. Make sure you tell those that you love them, right? Never go to bed angry. Because you just don't know. How are you, sweet Riri? Oh, that breaks my heart. I'm not even drying the flower now because I'm so sad to hear that. I lost my train of thought. My apologies, guys. I hope you know how very much you all mean to me. All right, let's set this aside. Here is the Van Dyke Brown glaze, and if you want to just try it, you can get it in this little 1 ounce container. Your container is going to get chocked full, let me tell you, no matter how hard you try not to. All right, so I mean, it looks pretty dark and kind of scary, right, when you're first using it. Hi, Kim. And what I like to use is, oops, a little damp baby wipe, nothing that is super, super wet, and then paper towel. Sometimes you don't have to be sorry, sweet Lisa. You can mention anything you would like. A dry paper towel, and I kind of go back and forth between the two. It just kind of depends. Hi, Marcia. Nice to see you. Okay, make sure you can see that, okay? So we're going to paint this on virtually everywhere except where our rice paper is going to go. And I kind of work in little sections. It spreads out. You get, you know, quite a bit. Out of that little 1 ounce container, you could probably do so much. And if we don't get all of this bottle finished, that's perfectly fine. You'll at least kind of get the gist of it so that you could see the process, right? And if you didn't want to do the glaze and you just wanted a, you know, very neutral color bottle with just a little bit of a pop of color, you could always leave it as is. You could come in with a little colored wax paste. You could use one of the colors in your rice paper. Hi, Twyla. Hi, sweet Debbie, darling, how are you? And maybe dry brush a little bit on if you want just a little bit of a color. I just thought this would be super pretty, so we're gonna do some together. The longer, just like with, you know, any kind of wax or glaze, the longer you leave it sit on, at least in my opinion, the more is gonna stay behind. And then if you use a baby wipe, you're gonna be taking off more than you would, for example, using a dry paper towel. Tell us the difference between a glaze and a wax paste. Okay, do you find a glaze easier than dry brushing? I like both actually, sweet Kim. Just depends on what kind of look I'm going for. So your wax paste, Sheila, is typically either an antique paste, which is meant to make something look antiqued, right? Or if it just says wax paste, like the gold that I love to use all the time, those are more metallic looking. Hi, Diane, hun. A glaze is a lot thinner, I will say, and you're getting a different kind of a look. Like in this particular case, we're going with, you know, this dark brown. But if you wanted to do that with an antiquing wax, you could get the same look. It's just a bit of a different application. 8 to 10 inches. Hi, my beautiful and sweet Barbara. You stay safe and warm, hon. Thank you so much. Hi, sweet Dallas. Hi, Dorinda. So this is kind of where the magic happens. If your baby wipe is super wet, give it a wring out a little bit. I like it just kind of damp. And I just want to remove that excess. So with a glaze, you're typically wiping it back, I will say. Some of the waxes that I used to use, like the Waverly Antique Wax, I would typically wipe that back a little bit too. With your waxes, you're really not wiping it back. Thank you, Alexandria. I appreciate it. I hope that helps you, Sheila, hon. Now, if you use the water wipes, water baby wipes, I need to get some. They will not leave behind the fuzzies that regular baby wipes do. So I'll let you in on that secret. But isn't this fun? Like, are you seeing how amazing that is? It's just like magic to me. And maybe this isn't quite your style. That's totally okay. But I think it's gorgeous and you can do so much with this. Now, if you wipe back, you know, a little bit too much, just come back in there with your brush and paint a little bit more on. And then I do like to come in with my paper towel because sometimes you need kind of that little edge on here. Thank you, Jackie. To kind of get in maybe some of those smaller little areas where you don't want quite as much as what's in there. And if you can't get it with your paper towel, hi Pamela, then I use just a little dry brush here. If there's maybe just a little bit too much setting in for your liking, and you can just dab that a little bit, kind of in all that detail. So that's what I mean by the fuzzy of like a baby wipe, a regular one. Do you prefer the wet wipes as opposed to paper towel? I think I like to use a little bit of both, Alexandria, actually. Isn't that fun, Lisa? So I usually start out with the wet wipe and then do a little bit with my paper towel. So I like a combo of both. It does come in a color called Black Chiffon as well, Denise. And I think I have, there are more than those two on Paint Couture. I can't think of the third one that I have. But if you go to my All Paint Products link, that's where you're gonna find it. Water wipes are good. Yes, I need to get me some. Okay, so you can kind of see the difference there. Like in an instant, we've just aged it up, right? And you saw that I didn't really use that much. So one little brush full of that glaze goes a long way. It spreads out pretty good. And I'm not even really putting much on there. What do you guys think of it? What do you think? The Black Chiffon is beautiful also. I have used that on some clay pieces that I put around kind of a very basic wood frame, plastic frame, ceramic frame, whatever you have that I just wanted a little bit more detail to. Thank you, Carrie, hun. And I use the black on there, and it's just beautiful. I like it just as much as I like this one, but I will say I gravitate towards the Van Dyke Brown Glaze much more. Oh, cobalt blue would be beautiful. Can you dry brush paint metallic over this? Absolutely. Hi, Ellen. You certainly could. You would just want to make sure your glaze is nice and dry before you do. And sometimes I like to come back over this with just a bit of that same angelic, or you could even do a white if you want to, and we can do that on this one too, so you can see. If you want to just bring that detail to life even just a little bit more, that is a fun thing to try also. Here's my baby wipe. Okay. Well, hey, sweet Karen, how are ya? But this part is my favorite, the wiping back part, because it's, like you said, it's magical, Lisa. It knows right where to stay behind, right? How are you, Karen? So good to see you. The Robin Egg color wheel. Ooh, cobalt blue is a favorite. And guys, I started on my little table I was telling you about. I feel like an artist when I'm down here working on it, because I'm like throwing color here and there and trying this and that and switching out brushes and trying all the things, you know. Yeah, Lisa, agreed, hon. I think I am going to put a little glove on this hand as well. Hi, Margaret. Well, thank you, sweet Karen. Hi, Diane. Sorry that we've been on again for so stinking long. Sometimes it's a process, and I love to have you see at least a good start of it from start to finish. You know what I mean? And so if I had it all painted ahead of time, right? Hi, Suzanne. Thank you, Barbara. Cobalt is your favorite. That is pretty. When I see bottles like that, I try to snag them right away. And then I definitely can't paint those type of bottles. I've done like fine line crackle over them so that blue still shows, you know, and that is beautiful. Just like the amber color bottles, like the green ones, if you ever see those are beautiful, done that way. All right. Ugh, I just think this is so pretty. Hamburgers for dinner tonight? That sounds so good. That's one of my favorite things to have ever, like a bacon cheeseburger. If I could eat one thing every day, that would probably be it. But it has to be a good one, you know? Bit of a sparkle. Ooh, Denise, that sounds beautiful. Well, Lisa, thank you, hun. That means a lot to me. All of you guys are so kind and sweet. So having a little pair of gloves works really nice when you're doing any kind of glazing or even waxing. I wash my hands so much as it is, and then even if I don't, you like the glaze too, Debbie, hon? Good. Have you gotten more snow, sweet Debbie? Even when I'm not, you know, if I weren't crafting and washing my hands all the time, they're already splitting open on a couple of my fingers. Yours would be pizza, really, Gloria. I mean, I do like pizza, but I kind of get my fill of it, you know? Thank you, sweet Lisa. I appreciate that. I do like me a good chicken bacon ranch pizza. All right. And so I kind of just do it until you love it. Like our Robin says, take some away, add some more, whatever you like. Looks like on this particular piece, I am, hi Karen, using the baby wipe more than anything. Pizza burger, yum. Been up for 36 hours. Oh, sweet Barbara Ann, I'm sending you prayers, hon. You could eat it every single day. So my sister Rachel, her husband, my brother from another mother, he eats pizza almost every day and could for the rest of his life. If they said you had to pick, you can only have one food for the rest of your life, what's it going to be? Go now. I don't think he would have any. Thank you, Suzanne, excuse me, for the sprinkle, hon. I don't like the tomato sauce. Well, tomato sauce for me really hurts my stomach during the morning hours. And okay, not much, just a couple inches. Okay, good. We don't have any snow on the ground right now. And I'm quite okay with that. It's just super cold. All right, so you kind of are getting the idea, right? Compared to what it looks like on the bottom. How fun is that? I should have definitely put an apron on. Now let's do this little rose. Here's the before. So stinking pretty. Oops. Same situation here, and this is Formflex too. So just kind of get it down into all the little crannies. I would really like to do a bottle with, or some kind of a project with a gray wax. I think I have one here. Yes, Kim, right? Or potatoes in any form. Same, girl. Especially like mashed potatoes and gravy. Can't do anything too pretty. Same here, Carrie. Hi, Deborah. So that might be on the list soon. Hopefully I'm not getting any on my sweatshirt. Aldi make great pizza, no sauce. I like that a lot, Shannon, actually. Aw, Barbara, I'm so glad that you came to say hello and hang out with me for a little bit. Please be safe, okay? Stay nice and toasty warm. Thank you, sweet Denise. Hi, Michelle. Oh, God, I just love how this looks. And it seems kind of counterproductive, right? Like you're putting it on just to wipe it back and throw it away. Thanks, Lisa. Yes, I love naan bread. It's very good. But I don't know, it's like a give and take in crafting, right? You got to put some on to take some away to get what you're looking for. So here's the before and there's the after. Hi, Deb. How are you, hon? Oh, and I love barbecue sauce. I love it. I don't even mind it on pizza. It just depends. Like, it's got to be then maybe like a chicken pizza, you know? My stomach hurts all the time, so once in a while. Thank you, Denise. Hi, Mary Ann. How are you? We make a big old baked potato with cheddar cheese. Oh, that sounds so good, Gloria. I actually am going to do some sweet potatoes here in the next couple of days. They're really, really, really good for you. But if I could have a baked potato instead, I'd rather have that. Hi, Myrna. Nice to see you. Aren't they beautiful? Hey, Deborah. Sweet potato, my problem is I want to deck it out with all the yummy bad for you things. It gives a dimension. Isn't it nuts? How easy and how fun, though. Making a little bit of a mess, right? I want to put butter on it. I want to put brown sugar, marshmallow, you know, caramel sauce or maple syrup, all the things. Thank you, Debbie. So sometimes it's hard to try to truly be eating a healthy potato, isn't it? All right. So this is that 3D mold. And same thing, as we start wiping back, I don't know, I just find this very satisfying. You love sweet potatoes, they're so good for you. Now this one, I might come in with my paper towel. Otherwise, I kind of like ball up the edge of my baby wipe so I can kind of get down in there a little bit more. You know, just like make a little point out of it. Sweet potatoes in the air fryer, that sounds amazing. I like sweet potato fries as well. Your aunt is still in the hospital, sweet Carrie. I'm sending prayers, hun. You put taco meat on your sweet potatoes. I've never had that. That sounds really good. I might have to try that. All right. And it's really just up to you. If you don't mind the excess kind of down in those petals, I don't mind some. I just want to take a little bit back. Brown sugar is so good in there. Hi, Janet. And then you have that. Very aged, very vintagey looking to me. I love that. So that is what I will do before we meet again on this bottle. I will finish up the glaze on the bottle and this other little flower. Then we're going to be putting this beautiful Reba rose paper on either side. Hi, Laura. Nice to see you, dear. I'm super hungry, too. My Panera Mediterranean veggie sandwich is waiting upstairs, and I did peek in the bag because she asked me, do you want the whole sandwich? And I was like, yeah, I know you can do like half a soup and salad. You're welcome, Carrie, hon. I'm sending you hugs. Or, you know, soup and a sandwich, half or whatever. I'm like, nope, I want the whole sandwich. Well, to me, it looks like half. Hi, Pam. Nice to have you. So our little Reba rose paper, we're going to have our little rose over it in the center. So this will just be our little background. Sometimes I love rice paper that is just the backgrounds. And we'll come in here with probably a little bit of white and we'll dry brush over this. Thank you, Sheila. So that you can kind of see the difference if you do versus not doing that. It's very fun and the look is really pretty. And then we could also use a little bit of like a gold wax paste on there a little bit as well. I guess it's all vegetable, Shannon. I've never had it before. Cucumber, hi Cindy, darling. Peppers, there's feta cheese on it. I forget what else. Tomato, I believe. Hi, Vera, thank you. Guys, I'm so sorry if I missed you coming in. I always feel so bad. And then I pulled a bunch of different sari silk that I have. And I absolutely love this because I had all the colors in that rice paper. Hi, my beautiful, sweet Judy. And we will just do a very simple little messy bow on the side hanging off. And I think that'll be good. And we may do a little fine line crackle on this because it is super small. We could do it together in a flash on a live. So we'll finish it off together on the next live together. Is that all right? You are never late, my sweet Cindy. Hi, Kelly. Nice to see you. How is my Judy? So guys, we're going to draw for some Happy Mail. Tzatziki. I don't think there was tzatziki on it, but if there is, that would be fantastic because that sounds so good. Beef barbecue sandwiches on a toasted bun sounds amazing. Thank you, Jackie. I hope so too. Hi, Teresa. So I guess you just got home from work, Judy. I hope you had a good day, hun. I guess for me, when I use a wax over everything, waxes are basically self-sealing. You have a great evening too, Donna Sue. I hope you feel better, hun. Hi, sweet Robin. If you do wax paste or say like rub and buff, that is all self-sealing. So once it kind of sits and does its thing, you shouldn't have to seal it. Hi, Lori. If you choose to, you definitely can. Sometimes I say when in doubt, you want to seal. Hi, Jeannie. And so on this, I'm not 100% sure if I will or not. Thank you, sweet Judy. I appreciate it. If I did, I probably would stick with a matte. Believe that or not, you guys know I hate matte, right? I very much dislike it, but I wouldn't want to put glossy on here. Well, thank you, sweet Kelly. I appreciate that. Right back at you, beautiful Lori. I'm glad that you're here. So this is what we did today. I had all the molds put on, but we talked about Form Flex. That's what they're all made out of. If you have to watch the replay, I give you some really good tips and tricks for using them in your molds, how you can just use a portion of your mold and still create something super beautiful. We are gonna affix on our little rose molds here after we get our erase paper down. I'm so glad, Judy. Good to hear that. And I'm just gonna continue on the glaze off of the live, so we will finish it together. Everything will be dry and all the good things. And we'll do that again tomorrow, probably. Well, thank you, Beverly. I appreciate that so very much. So I am going to scroll through the comments. And guys, if anybody sent stars, I thank you so much. I see some up there and I never saw them come through. Oh, good. I ordered it. Is it the one that was on the FormFlex page, Lori? I ordered it too. What an amazing price. I love them too, Kim. And that is from a Felicity mold, it's called. You're going to watch the replay, the WePlay. What is the deal today? And that mold is absolutely amazing. I will have it out for tomorrow. And you can see it in case you're wondering. You too, sweet Vera. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm just going to scroll through. You have to remember taking only pieces, right? So look at them just a little bit differently. Hi, Tina. Like the one that I used today on these, like I was kind of saying, I used bits and pieces. But like if you took this middle piece away, you could definitely use those other pieces as angel wings. And sometimes you might see something that I don't see, you know? So just play, we play, exactly, Lisa. Play around with your mold, look at it a couple times, you know, in different directions. You might come up with something pretty cool. Hi, Connie. I did too, Lori, just in case. You have a wonderful evening as well. There is an angel mold on the FormFlex page. Yes, there is. Thank you, sweet Kim. I was going to say that. So Tammy posted it, I think it was yesterday, and she has included a link where you can get it on Amazon. It is so stinking cute. It's more of like the 3D one, and I think it was $3.19. Amazing. And she shows a picture of one that she made with FormFlex. So check it out. I can't wait to use it. And maybe you can get it on the deal as well. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure that those comments are moving. The first one that we will draw for is this cute little bag that we did when we did our Totally Dazzled stencil kits. And that'll be sent out to you from me. So if you are pulled as the winner, I just want to make sure they're moving. Just message me your address if you wouldn't mind so I can get that in the mail to you. And I am stopping on Gloria Lockwood Brooks. Sweet lady. You are the first winner, and you will get that sweet little bag. Let me know in the comments if you're still on. And then just send me your address if you wouldn't mind, hun, so I can send you something fun. And that is just my way to say thank you for all the sprinkles. Anytime that we get 50 or more on a live, including replays, I like to send a little something out. We have had a lot of comments. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to get all the way down to the bottom here. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Fran. So nice to see you. You are the best, Diane. All of you are the best. Let me know if you're still here, sweet Gloria. And then I decided that we were going to do 2 of them today because Tuesday's live already had 50 as well when I last looked. And I don't have anything quite out for that yet, but I'm thinking it'll be something Valentine's-ish related. So I'm just going to wait for 1 second to see if she is there. Otherwise, I will reach out to her. No worries at all. Hi, Faye. Nice to see you. So she is the tote bag. And then I'm just going to do that very same thing. Thank you, TT. Isn't it fun to just sometimes get something in the mail that is happy and not a bill or, you know. All right. Scrolling. I see them moving. And I'm going to stop on Shannon Hellenbrook. You are number 2. So congratulations to you. There's just a portion of my phone that I look to, and whatever the name is when I stop scrolling, that is how I pick it, in case you're wondering. So let me know if you are still here. Congratulations to sweet Gloria. My sweet Trina is still there. And then Shannon, let me know if you're there. Yeah, all right, girl. Send me your address, please, if you don't mind. via Messenger, and I will get you out something fun. And I thank you all so very much. And then I will reach out to Gloria. So I would say, so do you guys want to pull for the other bag tomorrow during the live? We could do that. That is this one that is just stacked full of all the goodies. I'll go through everything and show you tomorrow. So we could definitely do that. Hi, Zanelle. Nice to see you, hun. So what I think I'll do is I will go back on Tuesday's replay and pull 3 more from the replay. I just think that's super fair to do, right? Because some people can't catch me during the live, and these are all the names we have for that. And we can pull a winner, and then I can mail out Happy Mail and that one as well. You get that beautiful bag of all the goodies that are in there on me. What do you guys think? We could do tomorrow, seeing it's Friday. Fridays are fun. Hello, Kyle. Welcome into you. Okay, good, guys. So I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. I will send a telegram when I am ready to go live. And I hope you all enjoy your evening. If you're going to get that nasty storm, please stay warm and safe if you have to go out. Hi, Zanelle. So nice to see you. And we will finish up this bottle tomorrow, okay? I appreciate you all so very much, and I love you like crazy. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys.